Ooh 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 ah ah ah. Ooh 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 ah ah ah. Ooh 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 ah ah ah. Ooh 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 ah ah ah. And that has no relation. I want to play clip 11. City of Compton. I want to share with you guys before we get started here a nice little clip of some chaos, an area that I would like to avoid. Anarchy in LA, tweeted Tom Fitton, sharing a source video from Ultra Drain. Los Angeles, the city of fallen angels, large mob of thug. Whoa, watch the racialized language. Looters caught on video looting a gas station in Compton, stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. Watch and learn. And hopefully I bleeped all the stuff that needed to be bleeped. Surprisingly, a little amount of bleeps. So if some cuss words slip through, I'm sorry, kids and parents. Here it is. You see it? Nice. Look at all those. Somebody said those were Hispanics and blacks. I think it's both. Is that a white? In a gas station mini mart. Cars revving. Yes, those are just some. There's some blacks. There's some blacks. Lots of hoods. Lots of hoodies. Lots of little Trayvon Martins. Shut up, Trayvon Martin. Rest in peace. Let the man rest. Hey, that's a Hispanic if I've ever seen one.
Hey, give me a stick back. Give me a word. Look, they get cigarettes.
Shameless. That man has no mask on. And throw them all in jail. As the mayor of, maybe I shouldn't reference that thing. The mayor of Chicago from back in the day said, maybe I don't want to say anything. He said something certain. He said a certain thing about looters and rioters and arsonists. Arsonists, that's a on the spot. You got to stop them. And looters too. You got to stop them. The rioters, you got to stop it. Hake was seen taking a couple of palm drinks. Says it's the real Mr. Man. Hey man, I had a beet juice over the weekend. Nice. Compton, California, KABC reports. Wild video shows large mob. Whoa, watch the racialized language. Ransacking an Arco station. I don't go to Arco. I stay away from Arco. It has water in it, just like Bud Light. I'm just kidding. In Compton, California, residents express fear. Alondra Boulevard and Central Avenue. All while the clerk on duty hid inside. He should buy a shotgun. As Sleepy Joe Biden says, buy a shotgun. Fire 2 rounds in the air, they'll all disperse. Or will they? Anyway, the video shows one man breaking a glass door. I don't know if you saw that part. I didn't see it. While dozens of looters crowd behind him. Moments later, the group seen grabbing everything from drinks, snacks, alcohol, and even Dems. I can't say that word out loud. Gross, vulgar, perverted stuff. Anyway, is it perverted? Yeah, it is. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department told Eyewitness News thousands of dollars merchandise stolen, serious damage done to the store. Unbelievable, unreal, never seen anything like that happen before, says Greg Johnson. He needs to get out more. What? I've seen this happen a lot over the years. Sometimes in Louisville, Kentucky. Sometime, maybe not in Los Angeles. How old is Greg Johnson? Was he born before after the LA riots or something? Was he born yesterday? Anyway, that's the Compton resident and customer of the Arco that was looted. Another Compton resident, Tamara, said the fact that the mob of people went around the city scares her. A mob of people, period. You don't know how they're going to react once they get in. And if someone is in there, and I know that they are terrified. So shots were fired about a block away from the store raid. No injuries reported. Deputies with LASD's Compton station, LASD, Sheriff's Department, had been responding to several illegal street takeovers earlier in the night. When was this? Was this Saturday night? Sunday night? I think that it was, let's see. Sunday, April 16th, 10:29 p.m. So it would have been, I don't know if that was Sunday night or Saturday night or when. Anyway, terrible. I stay up in the nice community with the Jews who drive about as well as the Asians, seemingly. When I drive over there, they don't want to get over. There's a left turn lane. They don't get all the way over. They get kind of part way over. So they're going to try to turn left, but they don't get all the way over. Interesting. Anyway, investigators said the two largest illegal street takeovers, took place at the intersections of Long Beach Boulevard and Rosecrans Avenue. I used to call it Rosencrans, but there's no N. There's no extra N anyway. Near the gas station looting incident. Both incidents involved illegal street racers with up to 500 people involved. Both ended with break-ins and vandalism, break-in at a laundromat including. Compton station deputies responded to various incidents throughout the night, currently limited with their staff personnel. Yeah, because of the China virus vax mandates thinned the herd, and also the Black Lives... Well, I don't know if that's true, but I heard that some people didn't want to get their vax, and so they quit. And then also the attack on cops, especially an attack on white cops, incompetent cops, independent-thinking cops. You heard Joel Friday on the Hake report when he was co-hosting with me some months back. He applied to be with the LAPD. They rejected him because he thinks a little bit independently and he's a little bit too honest sometimes. Or was. One person was detained. No arrests made. Couldn't intervene with the giant takeover groups for safety concerns because they were outnumbered. Terrible. Can't arrest us all. Can't kill us all. That's what Black Lives Matter says. Anyway, so what are we going to be covering today? Lots of phony attacks on the decent people while they gloss over their crime. I'm talking about the demon rats. Democrats? Fat Jerry Nadler. This is what Trump called him, Fat Jerry Nadler. He's a politician from New York, probably not a Christian, and there was some emergency hearing on crime, but the Congress is pretending to try to do something, the Republicans, and then the Democrats like, oh, this is only because to distract from Trump, or this is all the bidding of Trump. I don't know, what a mess. And by the way, saying that George Soros, who is Jewish, is meddling in our criminal justice system, which he is, by propping up people to get elected by dumb, useful idiots. Sorry, kids. That's anti-Semitic because he's Jewish. You can't criticize a Jewish person. That's anti-Semitic. So anyway, and there's a frazzled woman who named Kathy Griffin. Funny lady at one point, I was told by my former de facto producer, Dylon. I don't think she's Christian. She hated Trump. Severe Trump derangement syndrome. Well, she had also complex PTSD because she was hated for expressing her hatred, and she got a lot of hatred back. It's terrible. And women, you don't need to worry your pretty little heads. I have some pocket headlines showing that women are worrying their pretty little heads about everything from work to being a woman. And politics and all that mess. And I have more Bud Light stuff. I should bleep myself. Bleep light. But anyway, I have more of that. And some things from Hake News and your calls, guys. I mentioned that diversity is a problem here in America. And yeah, they're trying to change the surveys to make it so that they know more specifically what type of person you are, because we're getting all kinds of different persons occupying the country. Terrible. But anyway, guys, it's 10 minutes after, and we got to finish up the show because when we have Nick's stream coming up, the American Anchor Baby at noon, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Pardon me, I'm slightly distracted because I just realized that my live stream went down. What? Stinks. I'm talking about on my Rumble. So let me just start one up real quick. Well, it's gonna take me a second. Pardon me while I have this strange interlude. I'm wearing my one of my $15 Target t-shirts. Shout out to Target. Target's evil, though. I think we should be boycotting them. But we should be boycotting everybody. I forget why, but we should be. It's terrible. And, yeah, this is the second time that it's happened with this dumb thing. By dumb thing, I mean Rumble. Rumble, you're not dumb. You're just messed up. I can't even click these things. Okay, hold on. All right. Hassan, how are you doing, man? Hassan is back.
Yes, sir. Doing well. How are you, brother?
Doing fine, man. How was your weekend?
It was nice. Just slept a little bit, caught up on some sleep. Yeah, not much. Oh, took the dog to the groomer.
Oh yeah. That's a good kind of groomer.
Yeah, to the spa.
Terrible. That's terrible that they've what they've done, to that word.
Oh yeah.
Every word is now something perverted. It's terrible.
What a shame.
Yeah. But yeah, I heard about that on the Jesse Lee Peterson show that you are that you took him to the spa.
Yeah. It was honestly, it was unbelievable. I mean, this place was like top notch. I mean, human beings would have loved to go to this place.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I know. I feel like I could clean up a little better than I do myself.
Yeah, this place was, I was like, I wanted to go in.
Nice. And you're back.
Yeah.
Is it nice to be back?
It's nice to be back. It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Welcome back.
Thank you, man.
So we're starting up the Rumble, guys. Let me get to a call where we get things going. Keith in Illinois is on the line. Keith, thanks for calling and thanks for holding. What is up?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Doing well, thank you.
Okay, I just called. I was watching some things about, the Walmarts closing in Chicago and a lot of, inner cities. And there's a lot of food deserts in most inner cities. I mean, there's no food, no medicine and no food.
By food deserts, I think I know what that means, but what do you say that means?
I mean, there's no major stores, there's a convenient gas station,
right?
But there's no Walmart, there's no Kroger, no major stores.
Okay.
So I call them food deserts because there's no major stores in there.
Meaning
there's
like healthful food, like grocery stores and stuff like that.
Yeah. No Aldi's, no Save-A-Lots, none of them. None of them are there.
I've noticed, though, in the defense of the food deserts, because I've noticed that even at gas stations, at McDonald's, at Subway, at 7-Eleven. You can buy fruit. You can buy fruit there, and like vegetables in some places. So you don't have to eat unhealthfully, even by going to the convenience stores, which is what I started to do when I was still fat and going to the fast food places. I would make a little bit better choices. I've heard Joel Friday talk about making better choices with the food that he eats. And he makes really good choices, it seems like. But because he has to, because he exercises, so he is hurting when he exercises on bad food. But that was what I did baby steps toward toward improving before I started getting back to the grocery store and eating healthfully. Are you serious? Are you sure that there's no like grocery stores and stuff?
Yeah, I'm positive. I'm absolutely positive. And the politicians like the mayor of Chicago, which is we know is a loser. I mean, he'll go. He just like all mayors, mainly the black ones, whatever. The Democrats, they will make a fuss and act like it's a big deal when Walmart leaves Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just all a con game. I mean, the medicine, the food is leaving, and these politicians act like they always blaming Walmart. They'll blame.
I know.
They'll blame God even. I mean, they're willing to blame everybody but themselves. They'll blame God if they have to. I mean, that's their last resort, but they will use that. They don't bring any jobs to the inner city. You go anywhere in the country, there's no jobs, no manufacturing. They don't bring jobs to communities, so crime is going to rise. But this is what I call their plantation. This is the way they want it, but they'll make a bunch of noise when the liberal media show up and acting like they care. I'm just saying, why can't people wake up? They don't even bring food to your community. They bring nothing but despair and crime and murder and hell, and they still elect these people. But just the way they act, the way they show up and act like they care, like a preacher would do it, politicians, activists would do it. But okay, do Oprah, Obamas and George Soros, do they open up stores in those communities? No, they do not.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I mean, LeBron James, do he have like major, food, grocery stores in the community? No, they do not. And
no, he does the education thing.
They ain't like they got to give the food. They can make money on it. I'm just trying to show you how all of them pretend to care when they don't care no more about black people than a fly on a piece of what.
Oh.
It's all a little act that the liberal media let them say on a little 30-second interview. You know what I'm saying? But if they care when they open up stores in the black community, when they open up trade schools, when they open up opportunities, but they don't do nothing. They just hoard all their billions of dollars to themselves, and they and they don't give nothing back. But even these fools are still elected. I mean, a food desert, when you don't have food, you're still willing to elect these people. I'm just saying. I just had to bring that up.
Surik makes a good point. First it was white flight. Now it's store flight. Store flight. The stores are closing down in many communities. I've heard that there were like 3 that closed down just in Chicago, Walmarts that closed down in Chicago. Yeah. And I would assume, and I don't know, that part of it has to do with the legalized theft, also known as shoplifting.
That's true too. I mean, but again, the politicians are involved and the policies that allow these legalized thefts to go on. Yeah. But they know the end result. The fact that they know when they do that these stores are going to leave. It's going to lead the people more into destitute. You know what I'm saying? They know that, but they just want to keep them in hell and on the plantation. I'm just trying to say that they don't care. Remember, their policies make these stores leave. These stores do not want to leave. Remember what I'm saying?
Yeah,
these Democrats and these black politicians and preachers and activists, it's not the stores that want to leave. Now, no, it's either they'll go blame. Then they blame it on Walmart. Oh no, it's your policies that makes the stores leave. It ain't got nothing to do with the stores. It's your policies. That's what I'm just saying. They always deflect and they'll blame everybody but themselves. And these people still vote for them. I just kind of had to get that out there.
I wonder what would happen were the store owners to be more honest about what's going on. I could see backlash coming if the Walmart chief guy were to say, we got to close these down because there's too much crime and vandalism and blacks acting erratic and theft.
Right.
And not just blacks, but a lot of blacks steal.
Yeah.
And I could see like a lot of looting and destruction of even more invitation of destruction of their property if they were to be honest about it. But there's got to be I know we can find a way. It's terrible. You know, a lot of these places, like there's a Vaughn's around here that, you know, it's a relatively nice place, but then over the years, very recently, they've started putting stuff behind these glass locked cases, like even just lotion or deodorant. You have to like ring the bell to ask somebody to come and unlock the thing. I bet you that's decreasing their sales. Maybe it's decreasing the theft too, I bet. But it's also decreasing their sales because, like, I'm like, I don't want to buy stuff from a place where I have to ring the bell to get it. I'll go to the nicer, even nicer neighborhood where they don't have stuff behind the glass. You know what I mean?
And that's what the people with automobiles, that's what we do. We go to places where we don't have to feel like, you know, it's going to be robbed or, you know, looting is going to go on while we're there. So we'll drive. Now, remember, we'll drive an extra 10 or 15 miles.
Yeah, true.
I'm talking about the people that that don't have transportation.
Yeah.
You know, the elderly and they can't get their medication. A lot of people don't have that access to go out, you know, further. So I'm just trying to say the politicians, it's just their policies. They're always blaming everybody and everything, and the white people, Republicans, God. They'll blame everybody, but we all know in a sense it's their policies.
Yeah.
The reason why these inner cities are suffering so much, we know it's the truth. But I just kind of want to get that out there. Once I saw that old fake mayor, you know, Brandon talking about Walmart is leaving Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you're so full of it, man. It don't even make it. They keep electing you fools all the time. So it's kind of like you kind of feel sorry for them, but you kind of don't.
I think that we tend to elect the worst of ourselves or the people who are just like us. I don't know if it's the worst of us or the people who are just like us. It's hard to say. But
I think that people elect people because these people can really, they know how to get into these people's emotions, like the liberals and the Democrats. They're very emotional people. They have no sense whatsoever. They're totally ignorant. They're just, and you can manipulate their mind as long as you're making them angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody made the point that, and you know what? I don't avoid that store just to avoid the notion of a robbery. I just avoid it because it's more inconvenient to get my deodorant or whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And it's just a matter of convenience. You notice that the sunscreen, sunblock, that's not behind plexiglass. Because white people use sunblock, but blacks don't tend to need that stuff.
That is so funny what you said. So funny. But yeah, I mean, I've always had automobiles. I don't want the inconvenience. You know, and a lot of times, it might be two people working in the store. So now you got to wait 10 people for this guy to keep going to different areas to get different things. I'm like, I don't have time for this. So I'm not going to go to those stores, and those stores eventually have to close.
Yeah.
So I just had to bring it up that they're food deserts. These people, I mean, all these LeBron James and Shaqs and I mean, all these Oprahs, all these people, Obamas with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, always thinking like they care, but they will not, you know, bring policies to make things better, or they won't invest in these neighborhoods whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's all I had to say. Hey, thanks a lot, but I just had to put that out there.
I appreciate that, Keith. Take care, man.
All right, you too. You too. All right.
All right, bye. You know what? I have a couple of clips related to the Walmart closing, at least one clip over here that I've been meaning to get to be honest. Clip 14. By the way, the DNC is going to be in Chicago. Democrat National Convention is going to be in Chicago. It's the mayor of Chicago, J.B. Pritzker. Is that what his name is? He's kind of fat. Shout out to the fat people, but it's not good. Walmart's closing 4 stores in Chicago. More retailers are sure to follow with the weak liberal policies, according to 4 Mischief, towards smash and grab. 45-second little news clip here. Clip 14. Here it is.
Retail giant Walmart announcing the closure of 4 Chicago stores effective on April 16th. The news delivering a big blow to many who've come to rely on those stores.
WGN's Julian Cruz is live at the Chatham Supercenter with more. Julian.
Well, devastated by this news. Now, this Chatham Supercenter store is just one of 4 stores set to close on April 16th of this year, 2023, coming up real fast. The Kenwood Neighborhood Market store at 4720 South Cottage Grove will shut down. Lakeview Neighborhood Market at 2844 North Broadway also on the list to close, with Little Village Neighborhood Market at 2551 West Cermak shutting down as well.
Terrible. And Canadian David points out Walmart is a social engineering compound, commie capitalist corporation, and wealth redistribution project. I'm kind of a traitor for shopping there recently, he says. He admits, whoa, don't admit that stuff out loud, man. I started boycott. I never really went to Walmart, but I used to go to Sam's Club, which is owned by Walmart, right? Anyway, Sam's Club. It's kind of like a Costco. And Costco is a liberal too, by the way. And I quit going to Sam's Club. I boycotted. I canceled my membership years ago. And I don't know if I should have done this, but it was because they went after that woman who said the N-word 20 years prior or something like that. This cooking lady. I think she's a cooking lady. I'm blanking on her name. Anybody remember? Walmart pulled her books from this shelf. Pulls books. Cooking lady, N-word. Let's see if it comes up. Paula Deen. Scandals cost her cooking empire, says Business Insider. Publisher scraps Paula. This is 2013. 10 years ago. January 2018. June 2013. Publisher scraps Paula Deen's top-selling cookbook, according to far-left extremist outlet Reuters, before its release, book of recipes. Paula Deen, not Janice Dean. I don't know who Janice is. Disgraced chef, far-left extremist outlet, sloppy outlet, Daily Mail, foreigners. They're British, but they're not our brothers. Some of them are our brothers, maybe. There's probably some decent people in there, but look at it, disgraced. How is she disgraced? Paula Deen loses deal with Walmart and Home Depot and Caesars Casino just hours after her teary last-ditch attempt. Oh, she cried and tried to apologize, probably, to save her career on the Today Show. Walmart, Home Depot, Caesars Entertainment Corporation, the latest brands to drop Paula Deen, her $18 million business. This is from June of 2013, 10 years ago, almost. $18 million business empire crumbling following the end of contracts with the Food Network and meat producer Smithfield. Wednesday morning, a teary Deen told the Today Show she doesn't believe she should have been fired. A lawsuit last week revealed Paula Deen used racial slurs and wanted to throw a plantation-style wedding for her brother. Deen admitted to using the N-word. Oh, I'm pretending to be shocked, right? Don't groan in, kids, because look, you can choke. You can suffer worse than Hake did. Don't do the and wanting black men dressed as slaves. This cute. It's funny. It's a throwback. Poor Paula Deen. She went on the Today Show to claim hurtful lies had been spread about her, but by the afternoon she had lost another 2 sponsors. I hate that term, cancel culture. It's been around forever. D-E-E-N. D-E-E-N. Not 3 E's. I don't know if I said 3 E's. Terrible, huh? Ridiculous. Attack on the whites. No free speech for thee, white lady. Ridiculous, huh? So, yeah, I agree. Walmart's evil. So I called up Sam's Club. I'm boycotting you guys. I didn't say it all mad, but I said, I'm not going in there. Spoiler alert says Paula Deen was in the middle of being robbed at gunpoint when she used the no-no word. He never took the gun out of my face. That's what spoiler alert says. Yeah, I know. You have the right to say the N-word, and nobody has the right to be mad at you about it. But I don't recommend you saying the N-word. The N-word, Nazi. Don't call people Nazis. Neighbor. You don't want to call blacks a neighbor. Nah, anyway. So that's what's going on with evil Walmart and evil Chi-Town, Chicago. Democrat National Committee. J.B. Pritzker, the fat guy who's running the show over there, the governor. I think it's Pritzker, right? I could be totally wrong. He called it the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris convention because he's pretending that it's going to be a re-election, and it may be. Who knows? Before I get back to calls, let me cover this quick story. New York City crime is a mess. A.T. Rupar, Aaron Rupar, he's a far-left so-called journalist. Journalist means far-left enemies of America propagandist, right? Republican Representative Tom Tiffany, I think he's of Wisconsin. Clip 16 here. He went on Fox News, faux news, with one of the female hosts, one of the top female hosts, Laura Ingraham, I think. I think it was her. No, I forget who it was. Anyway, it was some female. He says, I hear from people regularly out here in Wisconsin, and they're like, I don't know if I want to go to New York City right now because it's not safe. Here he is. Clip 16.
Think about what a great hospitality hub New York has always been. I hear from people regularly out here in Wisconsin. They're like, I don't know if I want to go to New York City right now because it's not safe. So Alvin Bragg can talk about how New York City is safe, but that's clearly not the message the American people nor the people from New York City are hearing.
You know, and he mentions Alvin Bragg, another fat guy. Shout out to the fat people. But it's not good. Alvin Bragg is the Manhattan DA. He took over for that unchristian guy who did not charge Trump, but he was a Democrat, Cyrus Vance. And he's the one charging Trump with a 34 felony counts or something ridiculous like that. With that, the corrupt grand jury. Most people in New York City are corrupt. Look at the people that they elect. So the grand jury indicted our greatest president. And there were some threats, supposedly, of protests. A lot of people get hateful about that. They puff up and get all mad about charging the greatest president. Are you kidding me? But don't be mad. And so Alvin Bragg's like, don't come to our home. And the black Democrat mayor's like, don't come to our home. Marjorie Greene never brought any, well, I don't know, maybe she brings some trouble. But she's like one of the decent politicians as female politicians go. So this know-it-all, Darigo Melanie tweeted out, Wisconsin has a gun death, that's a buzzword, rate of 13.5. New York has a gun death rate of 5.4. Interestingly, she didn't point out New York City. New York City, very selective. They just make jokes. They change the subject about the crimes that are happening. They say, oh, it's happening over there too. I wonder if Wisconsin, because it's farther up north, it's cold. Maybe they don't see a lot of sun sometimes, kind of like the Pacific Northwest. And maybe they're committing suicide with the guns. Don't do that, kids or parents or adults, non-parents. I don't know. And parts of Wisconsin are not that white and safe, by the way. So there could be crime going on. New York State has upstate New York, which is decidedly more conservative, I think, than New York City. The corrupt New York City. So sick. So briefly, let me share this. They're having a hearing on the crime, right? I guess. Fat Jerry Nadler. What's up with all the Hake bashing all the fat people today? On this crime hearing in Manhattan, During his opening remarks, according to Julio Rosas 11, Julio_Rosas 11. He's a fairly decent. I think he's is he Breitbart? He's a journalist, Daily Caller maybe. I forget. Independent journalist maybe. During opening remarks, Jerry Nadler is laughed at by audience members who are in attendance for the Judiciary GOP's committee hearing about violent crime in New York City. A minute and 19 seconds, clip 12. Here's Jerry Nadler going after our greatest president to distract from the crime and pretending that the crime is a distraction from our greatest president, the persecution of the president, Trump. Here it is.
Let me be very clear. We are here today in Lower Manhattan for one reason and one reason only. The chairman is doing the bidding of Donald Trump. Committee Republicans designed this hearing to intimidate and deter the duly elected district attorney of Manhattan from doing the work his constituents elected him to do.
Black.
They have demanded access to the inner workings of an ongoing criminal case, information to which they know they are not entitled. They have subpoenaed a witness who used to work for the district attorney, whom they know cannot answer their questions. And they have earned a lawsuit that risks future congressional oversight as a result. They have perpetuated the anti-Semitic and racist tropes that Mr. Trump has directed at both the prosecutor and the judge in this case.
Racist?
They are using their public offices and the resources of this committee to protect their political patron, Donald Trump. It is an outrageous abuse of power. It is, to use the chairman's favorite term, a weaponization of the House Judiciary Committee. I do not know if Mr. Trump will be found guilty. I do not know.
Gentlemen, suspend. The gallery should refrain from commenting and let the gentleman from New York finish his statement.
Is that Jim Jordan? Jim Jordan's like, stop the commenting, stop in the peanut gallery, because the peanut gallery, the people are jeering at this guy's, at Fat Jerry's, accusing others of being what he is, weaponizing the government against the people, against our greatest president. Trump anti-Semitic? Okay, says Nugget Man. Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. Oh, and I have Jerry Nadler anti-Semitism, a couple of tweets that he put out. With anti-Semitic tropes emanating from House Republicans, he tweeted out this morning. It's unsurprising, but no less vile, to see the Republicans, I call them cants, he's called them Republicans, bringing this anti-Semitism to New York outside today's stunt hearing in Manhattan. And he shares a picture of, show the one before that, of Soros, some guy holding up a sign, wearing a mask and a hood and sunglasses, behind a lady who says, disarm hate, with her t-shirt. I assume that's a lady with a rainbow radical homosexual sign t-shirt. Disarm hate. If you zoom in on that picture with the lady and the guy behind her, disarm hate. I think that's a lady, or is that Richard Levine? I'm dead naming him. I shouldn't do that. And then this guy with Soros in the background with the Star of David and money signs. Because Soros is Jewish. Like, I didn't know that he was Jewish until, like, the liberals started pointing it out. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. Years ago, I found out that he was Jewish. Not a Christian. And he puts major money. I think he was behind Obama. He was behind the Black Lives Matter evil movement. He was behind the tearing something of change, color of change, which tried to take down, and I think they were eventually sort of successful with all the collusion against him, even taking down normies like Bill O'Reilly. Oh yeah, they hate anybody who's popular and effective. And so Soros supported George Gascon, the Black Lives Matter endorsed. Netflix CEO and his wife supported George Gascon, DA over here in LA. And he was behind Color of Change, which donated major money to Alvin Bragg, the duly elected black, fat Manhattan DA. So it's anti-Semitism, to tell the truth. Republican members, Jerry Nadler, went after Matt Gaetz, based Nat Gaetz. I may be using the term loosely. In this other couple of tweets, Republican members at today's hearing, like Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican, or is he a Republican, have called Trump's indictment the Sorosification of the criminal justice system. Nice words, man. It's true. And it's not just Soros, but it is Soros, too. It is, and it's his ilk. And I've heard that guy talk, George Soros, and he talks just like these dumb SJWs. I don't know if he's exploiting them or if he's a useful idiot among them. Elise Stefanik also said the Soros-backed woke prosecutor Alvin Bragg must testify under oath before Congress. Soros-backed. This is who the Republicans are sending to represent them at the taxpayer-funded stunt hearing, said Representative Nadler. Give me a break. I noticed that they distract with facts. They deceive people with facts. It's kind of like when you point out, we need a wall at the border. They say, we don't need a wall at the border. Most of the illegals are visa overstays, and they came in by plane, and they just overstayed their visa. Those are the most illegals, and that's distracting from the problem of the border. Us needing a wall. We needed a wall at the border. We can also deal with the visa overstays. Those are two separate problems. You're not debunking one problem by bringing up another, but that's the dishonesty of the liberals. Just like when they say, oh, whites do it too. White crime out of control, which is not even, it pales in comparison. Hey, pales, get it? Compared to the black crime, but it's still not good. Anyway, let me get to Steve in Buffalo, New York. Been on hold for quite some time. Speaking of New York, how you doing, Steve?
Dan, how you doing?
Doing well. You're sounding kind of rough there. Are you on a speakerphone or something?
No, I shut it off.
Okay.
Let me double.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I don't know if you remember me when I called about the Kinks.
Yes.
I rewatched it, and when I got on air, you were like Steve Martin from Buffalo. Is that true? I was wondering what
Steve
you meant
what?
by that. You said you announced me when I was coming online or coming on air, and you were like Steve Martin from Buffalo. Is that true?
Martin.
First
I didn't say
call?
Martin. I don't say people's last names.
I'm sorry.
Don't dox yourself, man.
I don't give a shit.
Hey, don't cuss.
Oh yeah. So.
How old are you?
44.
44? You have no excuse to be. Well, how are you? It must be how he was raised.
Well, I had
no excuse to be cussing.
Well, I died a couple times, so.
That's no excuse. I died a couple of times, so I can cuss in front of the kids on the Hake report.
Well, not to mention added a quarter century of going to the emergency room, but yeah, it just sounded funny to me because you're like, is that true? Like, did you think I was?
I don't even remember that much. I vaguely remember something like that, but I don't remember what I was thinking. So, yeah.
I didn't think. I was just checking. And at the end, you said I was making you nervous.
Oh yeah, you make me nervous right now.
Why?
Why? Why? Well, you cuss for one thing.
Is it the Alpha Sigma?
Alpha Sigma? I don't know what that means.
Is it the alpha in me that makes you nervous?
I don't detect much alpha in you.
Is that right?
That's right.
But that's okay.
That's okay. Oh, you've normally people detect alpha in you?
Very much. I got yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes?
Yeah.
That makes you
green.
alpha?
Well, they think so. They don't like it when they look at somebody that looks like a devil.
Yellow instead of white in your eyes?
No. My iris turns yellow.
Oh, man.
Like a wolf.
like a wolf. I've never seen a wolf to see yellow irises in the wolf's eyes.
I guess it would be more in movies or something. They usually put yellow eyes on werewolves and wolves.
Man.
But I guess
Gen X humor. It's over my head.
Yeah, I'm all about humor. That's pretty much
Nice.
my go-to.
How's the crime in your area?
I live out in the woods, so.
Oh, nice.
But when I was closer to the city, not much.
Oh, good.
Not much.
Right on.
Not that I heard of.
Yeah. How long you been listening to Hake and JLP and Nick Stream and Joel Friday TV?
I'd say a couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so
that's all right.
I don't know if it was. I may have been confusing it with somebody else because there's another. I feel like there's another Steve from New York, and I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't imagine you would call it because you get so many calls and stuff. So.
Yeah.
But I took a shot. That's all.
Right on, man.
I really started to like you because your sense of humor.
Oh, because of my sense of humor? Nice.
Yeah, you do have a sense of humor.
Thank you.
And it's a great sense of humor.
Sweet.
But it's a little weird because I've never met somebody with that kind of sense of humor that's similar to mine, somewhat similar.
Are you part Danish?
Danish?
Yeah, are you part Danish at all?
No.
Because I had a fellow Dane call my show, Patrick from Denmark, saying people who are Danish have I forget what the sense of type of humor that it is, but you can't really tell if they're joking and it's kind of off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's
so
me.
you're the one who told us about the song Lola from the Kinks, which is a great song I've heard, but it's also says Lola turned out to be a man, and that was from like the 70s.
Yeah, and I was aware that transgender's been around forever.
Right.
I just never thought there'd be a song.
I know, but all musicians are liberals, even the Kinks.
And I listen to everything from Maria Callas to Prof, which is a rapper.
Whoa.
You know who Maria Callas is?
No, not it doesn't ring a bell anyway.
Maria Callas?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I only listen. I grew up on Christian music.
Yeah, she's a famous Italian opera singer back in the day.
Oh, Italians. I only listen to whites.
See, that's what confuses me.
I'm just kidding.
Your sense of humor is great.
Thank you, man.
You have like you're such a good guy.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? Like
no guy is good.
What's that?
No guy is good.
No guy is good?
Right. I'm a Christian.
How?
No man is good.
You mean no man is perfect?
No man is even good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that, James?
Jesus said it. So it's true. It's in the Bible.
Why did he? Is there any?
Somebody said, "Good teacher, what must I do to be saved?" And something like that, right? And he's all, "Why do you call me good? No man is good but God alone."
Yeah, he has no flaws.
Yeah.
But
and then he told the guy, "You know the commandments. Don't steal, blah 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 blah." And I think this was the rich young ruler, maybe. He said, "All these I have kept since I was a boy." And he said, "There's one last thing. Sell all you have to the poor," or something like that. Sell it to the poor. Sell all you have and give it to the poor, or something like that.
Well,
messed up. Sell it to the poor. That's what Walmart's doing.
Yeah.
And then the guy went away sad because he had great wealth. He wanted to hold. That was what he was holding on to.
Yeah. That's not a good thing.
Jesus said, "It's hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle," which would only happen in a black hole.
Yeah.
Than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Something like that.
Well, that's kind of
Who
weird.
then can be saved? The Israelites. Were they Israelites? The black Hebrew Israelites said following Jesus? No, the disciples said. And he said, with man it's impossible, but with God all things are possible. Isn't that nice?
Very. But what about the saying, evil triumphs when good men do nothing?
That's because the good men are not so good after all. Because that didn't come from the Bible. It's just a saying. And the so-called good men are not so good. Otherwise, they would not do nothing.
I mean, James, you're about as pure as the servant snow. I mean, I don't see how you could consider yourself not a good guy. That's just crazy. But
oh, right, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I was a guy that was established at 19 and had a fiance, a submissive fiance, a very nice girl.
Uh-huh.
I treated very well. Lasted for 11 years. It lasted until I died, basically.
Whoa, and then she divorced you after you died?
No. She sat by my side and went to work and came to the hospital with her clothes, new clothes, so she could work. And the nurses were like, who is this angel that never leaves your side?
So what happened? How did it end then?
My family attacked her.
Oh,
verbally, physically, saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to sue you. So I told her, because I wasn't able to protect her. I was beginning to die.
Uh-huh.
So I told her, just go down south and live with your mom. You can't be around these people.
So you guys are separated. You're not even divorced. You're just separated.
We weren't married. It was my fiance.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you broke off the engagement?
I broke off. I had to because, I couldn't let her see what my family's capable of.
Wow, what a mess.
Yeah.
No wonder you cussed in front of the kids at 44 years old.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. So she's married with kids now with basically a parody of me.
Oh,
like
man.
a great value, Steve, if you will.
Great value being a cheap knockoff wannabe
Right.
Steve from Buffalo, New York. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen his pictures in the wedding photos.
Uh-huh.
So she, after me, or after that, whenever she got married a couple years later or whatever, she gained 250 pounds.
Ouch. Not so much of an angel after all, huh? Life shook her just as it shakes us all, I guess. Steve, can you call me another time? I gotta keep it moving.
Certainly, brother.
I appreciate your call, man. It's good to hear from you. Interesting life.
Always good to talk to you, James.
You do JLP's silent prayer?
No.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Whoa, wait a minute. What is that?
Oh, you don't know what it is even?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
Check out silentprayer.video or rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
Yeah, I called in for Jesse just earlier about rebuilding the man. But
oh, cool.
I missed out because it was just too late.
You called in too late?
Yeah.
Call in early, early and often, and you'll get.
Yeah, I got up late.
That's really late because in New York it's 9 a.m. when JLP starts. So I appreciate you, Steve. Don't worry about it. We'll talk again.
Sure.
All right. Take care.
No worries.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you. No more Dixie flag. Just noticed Hake took the knee. Yeah, I'm covering it. I'm covering the rebel flag, the beautiful flag from the beautiful South. Guys, it's near the top of the hour. Let me just go ahead, before I get back to calls and stories, and take my break. I'm getting up there in age, gotta take my breaks. This is Petra, Gen X music. This is it is a Christian band. I love this track. It's from 1992, the album Unseen Power. Petra means rock. I hope you enjoy it, guys. It's called I Need to Hear From You. And this what is part of the emotionalization of Hake's Christianity. The chat doesn't seem to like the prior caller. What in the world? Anyway, Enjoy this music, you musical Philistines. You can grin and bear it, or you can cover your ears, say la la la. You can go out and shovel snow or rake leaves or plant your garden, plant your food. Or you can press mute. But I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight. I Need to Hear From You by Petra.
I'm going out of my mind. It's times like these that really break me. So here I am, all alone, I'm waiting on you. Just a word will get me through. I need to hear from you before this night is through. I need to hear from you, so I'm waiting just to hear from you. Whoa, yeah. My whole world is turning upside down when I'm lacking in direction. I don't care if it takes all night. I need to feel your sweet affection. So let me hear words of life. I'm lost without you. Speak to me the way you do. I need to hear from you before this night is through. I need to hear from you, so I'm waiting just to hear from you. I've been here in this place before, and you're not the one to blame. No, I need to know what you have in store, so I'm on my knees, calling out your name. I need to hear from you deep inside my heart. I need to hear from you. Just a still small voice is gonna get me through.
So good.
I need to hear from you, so I'm
So awful.
waiting just to hear from you.
Should be used to torture Al Qaeda.
I need to hear from you.
Bon Jovi? Bon Jovi.
I need to hear from you, so I'm waiting.
This is to God. He's praying to God.
Waiting just to hear from you.
White Snake? New favorite song. Yeah, that's right. Not too bad. Sounds like 80s soundtrack music. Sounds like something John Millenkamp rejected, says the real Tim Scott. This guy had a perm for sure. I don't think John Schlitt ever had curly hair. I think it was sort of straight, slightly wavy, long. Shout out to Petra, John Schlitt. Mildly okay, Hake. 90s ballads. I actually like this one. Thank you. The album cover is environmental BS, bogus speech though. Yeah, because it said unseen power, and the wind is unseen, and the wind has power, windmills. They weren't thinking politics, environmentalism, man. It's just, you can't see the wind, but it's powerful. How can this not instill hope, asks Mike. Yeah. So good. Brian Adams. Yes. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. I would sing that to myself anytime I was feeling down, which I never felt down, but I would sing it to myself sometimes. Not to myself, to God. To God. Sing to the Lord. I'd rather listen to Cat Stevens, Hake. Cat Stevens is a Muslim and a hippie or something. I got to read some super chats, guys, before I get back to the calls. It is 10:01 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Over on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report, inward thoughts with a few supers. Number one, sorry I'm an arrogant P word, Rick. I can't say that word. Well, I don't know. I didn't think of that as a bad word, and then people polluted it for me. 2, your Rumble feed is not streaming. It is now. It's streaming now. But thank you, man. It wasn't streaming, and there was a problem. Appreciate the heads up on that. Thanks for looking out for me, man. Inward thoughts. Hake thinks every word is perverted. How do you feel about beep, beep, Hake? And by beep, beep, I mean, he says, don't say this, kids. Don't look it up. Don't. The word, it gets worse when I try to say don't do that. Cheese pizza. I prefer pepperoni. But it's funny, inward thoughts. Whatever, man. Yeah, everything is polluted, perverted. They turn everything into some perverted or dirty thing. Every single word that you can think of. I used to, as a kid, I used to like think of a word and be like, I bet you that's going to be a dirty word someday. And sure enough, it was. I can't even think of what it was. Inward thoughts, inwardly thinking, right? Says Hake is done being distracted by facts! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. It is over. F as in forget your facts. That's right. Facts are not truth. Facts distract from truth many times. Think about it. It's a fact. Inward thoughts goes on with another super chat. Your mods timed me out for say gay too much. That is pretty gay, he says. Yeah, don't say that so much. Haven't you ever been to Florida? Don't say gay. What? The First Amendment. Read about it. No, say. Hey, Ron here. That's what this actor, Ron Perlwoman, said to Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis signed the bill that the mainstream media called the Don't Say Gay bill. Mainstream media is for the radical homosexuals. Yeah, I agree. Inward thoughts. Don't be saying that word so much. Super chat about it, says Lord Bibby 42 to him. I guess they're still fighting. Gregatron, thank you, man. Save me from the inward thoughts. Super chats. Shout out to the inward thoughts. Gregatron over there, a couple of days ago, he gave me a super chat saying, Hake, I have a great idea. Whenever you talk about that goofy afro guy, that's that Justin, not Childers. Shout out to Justin Childers. Poor Justin Childers. Not Justin Jones. That's the Mexican Indian, black guy. But Justin, I'm blanking on his name. Pearson. Goofy Afro guy. Whenever you talk about Goofy Afro guy, you should play the song Nappy Afro by Boyd Jones. It's a song from Afro Samurai Resurrection. Afro Samurai, Resurrection. Might be a movie. Nick and Hassan might know about it. There's cursing, so you probably can't play all of it on the Hake Report. I have played songs that do have cussing in them. Notably 16 Horsepower. 16 Horsepower is a Christian guy. You ever heard of that? Hassan, Afro Samurai Resurrection?
I haven't.
Okay. Well, we are uncultured.
What was the one you mentioned?
16 horsepower?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a band. Well, I'm blanking on his name, but he's a guy who was the son of his grandson maybe of a fire and brimstone traveling preacher guy.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, he has cool music. I'll bring back 16 horsepower because it's really good.
Nice.
But he cussed a couple of times in it, and so nice. The blind N-word samurai, says Nick, host of Nick's stream, the American anchor baby. He says good animation. By the way, he will be live at noon Pacific time today. So, also one from Ko-Fi. I am remiss in not reading this. John F. gave a tip on, I think it was Friday toward the end of the show. I recommend a new book by Art Thompson called Benedict Biden, Water Carrier for the New World Order. It tells truths that you won't hear in the mainstream media, including Fox. Art Thompson was former CEO of the John Birch Society. Thanks, James, for spreading the truth. Yeah, John Birch Society. I think JLP was associated with them back in the day, in the good old days. They were smeared for being racist. Give me a break. Let me double check. As it says, don't say it. Nice. I agree. I love it, says Atali 2008, referring to Petra. Sounds like the same guy that did this Tarzan soundtrack. Nice. Right on. Yeah, I'll be live until 11 Pacific. Man, he asked how long I'm going to be going. Okay, I got to go to Clay in Indiana before I get back to stories. A couple of calls here. Clay in Indiana, thanks for calling and holding. How you doing?
Hey, Hake.
Hey.
It's good to hear from you, man.
Nice. Good to hear from you.
I've been trying to squeeze you into my birthday, so I've been sorry about hanging up the other day on you.
Oh, no worries. I think you might have clicked before I clicked, and I don't like to hear the click, but that's my fault for being slow. If that was you. Anyway, you're making a little bit of noise. Make sure you're on regular phone.
Hopping in my car. I was outside. I wasn't sure if I was going to get on next, but I'm just sitting outside from work. But anyway, I wanted to continue to talk to you about, as I was talking to you last time, I don't know if you remember about divination, about women's and men's gifts for divination, and that it's not satanic.
Okay, yes, I remember now. Yeah, you were saying that it's, and actually Evil is Real sort of agreed with you, CJ. I think that you were saying that women should not, I think your mic is on. Women should not neglect their gifts of divination. It's not as devilish. It's actually a gift from God or something like that. Divination. What's divination?
Well, that's just what anything you could call as a psychic. It's more what it's more has to do with what the Bible says about it, which is that all of it is evil, and that's what I come to disagree with. And I wanted to ask you why you believe that it's satanic. Anything involving the spirit. Let's not even call it divination. Let's say intuition, knowing or seeing the truth behind people, which I believe is coming to all people. Let's just call it a kind of an intuition. A knowing of the propaganda from the real deal, the innocent from the murder, that kind of thing. Just knowing. That is from God, is my case. But why do you think it is satanic? Is it just because the Bible says?
Why do you think that I think that intuition is satanic?
Or divination?
Divination. Why are you using divination? Like, I've never even talked about divination really, but it does seem devilish.
Well, there's lots of types of divination. You could be talking about divining rods just to find water in the ground, or you could be talking about divining information from spirit, which is what I'm talking about.
Lady Seasal says, no such thing as intuition, caller.
Well, I disagree. I mean, that's what the psychics use to read people, is their intuition. That's what they call it. And
so you think psychics are real?
Oh, completely. Well, like I said before, there's one of them that I found, and she does local news in Minnesota, and she's like a sorceress. She's like a superhero or something. She's
Sorceress?
beautiful, and
You said
she's
sorceress?
definitely not satanic.
You said sorceress?
I hate to use that word because it even has negative connotations, but I really mean it. She is just like this in a fairy tale kind of way. She's just very magical, has this air about her of light and happiness, and she's kind of a hippie look. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but she is what convinced me that it's all real.
You seem
and that
taken.
It is from God.
You seem quite taken with her.
Not just her, but I have other research that I would consider. It's called channeling, and not a lot of people even know about it or would believe in it. Most people would openly scoff at it, but these are people who are opening a connection to spirit, as in getting information from the beyond, from the other side, from angels, more or less, so to speak. And I completely believe in it.
Doesn't the Bible say not to go to these women who are doing this divination stuff?
Well, it does say that. It says a lot of things.
Why does it say
a lot
that?
Of things,
do you agree with it?
A lot of things were taken out from the Bible about women.
Why does
lot of things were
why
put
does
in.
it why does it say that, and do you agree with it, that warning?
No.
Why does it say it?
Well, for instance, I wanted to clear that up with you, and maybe Anchor Baby can confirm when I throw this allegation out. But I do not mean to say that witchcraft isn't real and that there isn't a dark use for these things. And the Bible was right to warn against that. And especially what I mean about the Anchor Baby is, this is from my experience in Mexico. There is a lot of witchcraft. There's a lot. Maybe it's because of the conditions.
The Anchor Baby's not from Mexico, though. He's from Colombia and Cuba and Canada.
Well, even that being the case, see, I didn't know that, but that being the case, maybe he knows about, or maybe you guys know that the environment there is just more violent and a little different.
They worship women just like you do.
I don't worship women, man.
How do you know you don't worship women? You're talking about how this woman looks, and you're all taken with her, and she's beautiful, sorceress. And I what in the world?
I mean, she's just like
how
out
old
of a
are you
fairy
again?
tale. I'm 30, man.
And how old is this woman whom you admire?
Yeah, I don't know. She's probably a good deal older. She looks to be in her 50s.
Terrible.
I mean, not that I want to, I'm just saying she's an inspiration to me in that way.
Santa Muerte. They worship the woman death goddess thing.
Well, that's
and they
what I'm
worship
trying to say.
Mary.
It's a very real thing. There is a real, I've seen a lot of evidence and videos of curses and voodoo dolls and bags of ash and all that kind of stuff that people are using, women are using mostly, to curse people. And that's real. And it's real dark. And that's why it's even more important that we have light workers like this woman. I don't even want to give
Why
her
do you
name.
say we?
Maybe
Why do you say we?
as humans, all of us.
So you
battle,
need this woman to tell you, what do you need this woman to tell you?
No, Hake, it's not about her being a woman. It's just about the battle of good.
No, but what do you need her to
evil.
tell you?
I need her to tell people, everyone, that your intuition is not evil. It is good, and you can have it too. You can dial up your own intuition to know the truth from the lie, and that's coming to all people. Hake.
What's
It's coming to
intuition?
you.
What's intuition
You're going
again?
to see it.
What's intuition?
Well, have you ever heard of Edgar Casey?
Don't name drop. Just tell me what intuition is.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to say it other than what I've described as far as the knowing. All right, have you heard of remote viewing? This is another topic of debate these days. Remote viewing is completely real.
Remote viewing,
projection-
that's intuition? Are you trying to answer my question, or are you just changing the subject?
No, that is.
Are
what I
you
mean to
high
say.
on pot or something?
No.
Do you
I am
drink
not.
alcohol?
I don't drink.
How about caffeine?
No. Well, I am on caffeine right now.
I can
a little
tell
bit.
you're on caffeine. I can tell you're on something because
And
your
I'm
energy
smoking a
is
cigarette.
weird.
I'm sorry, man.
My intuition
I am
is telling
trying to
me.
rush. I'm rushing you with a lot of info here.
Yeah, you're talking about intuition, but you're relying on everything but intuition because you're relying on these women to intuit rather than yourself.
I don't have it. But what
you don't
you're
have
doing,
it. But God gave
no,
you.
I don't have it.
God
intuition.
Doesn't the Bible say the teacher that Jesus said that he will send you the teacher and he will guide you in all things? Was he talking to you too?
I
Or
thought
was
you
he
guys
not
said
talking to
no
you
man, let no man be your teacher.
Yeah, so nor woman. Do you think
Well,
that
she's
meant
not
let women be
necessarily
your
my
teacher?
No. What
But
all I'm
didn't
trying
he
to
tell
say-
you? Didn't he tell you that the teacher is within you?
Exactly. Well, that's
so
what I'm
then
trying to
how
tell
come
you.
you're
Hake.
relying on these women?
The woman in the question is that's what she's saying. The teacher is in you. You have to dial into your light from God. It's inside you, and that's the exact same thing you guys are saying. But what I'm trying to say mostly is that what you guys are doing, you and Jesse, when you're telling people to do the silent prayer, you're pretty much putting people on the path to spirit. You're putting people on the path to that light, that intuition shining on them. Because what you're doing is...
So you do the silent prayer?
Oh, well, yeah, I do. I try to do it twice a day to align with my circadian rhythm. It's just more helpful that way.
What's
and
circadian?
that way
What's circadian
is
rhythm?
the way to God.
What's circadian rhythm?
Well, just the your body's natural rhythm of doing things like a routine, like you brush your teeth in morning and at night, and that's what I try to do: the silent prayer morning and at night.
That doesn't
10
sound like
minutes.
circadian rhythm to me, man. What's circadian rhythm?
I'm not a scientist. I'm not.
Then how come you're using these words?
And I'm just saying that because I know that
sounds
this
like
is the
New
best
Age
way
mumbo
to
jumbo.
do this
No, I don't know.
silent prayer. You have to practice it. I just try to do it for most people anyway. I just say 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes at morning, 10 minutes.
So
20 minutes
you're
a day.
telling people to do it?
Oh, everyone.
You're telling everyone to do the silent prayer?
Well, the silent prayer
And you're
is-
telling
is
them to
one
do
way
it for
to-
10 minutes?
Well, I just tell them to do it for as long as I can. Do it for an hour a day if you want, but just try to do it as much as you can. And,
So how
and
come
try
you
to
say
get
try
that
to do it
silence.
rather than how come you say try to do it rather than do it?
Because it's so difficult for most people to actually ignore the thoughts and sit in the silence.
No,
of the
how about you?
moment. And
Because you said that you try to do it morning and night. Does that mean that you don't always do it morning and night?
you're right. Well, yeah, because life gets in the way, work and everything, and I'm just fall asleep most of the time, and it's a shame. But I try to do it as much as I can because that's the way to the truth. It really is.
Big Bumps.
And it's coming.
Big Bump says Satan gave this guy a scatterbrain.
I'm sorry, Hake. There is just a lot. I could start talking about Mars, metal moons, dragons. I could start talking about crazy stuff, Hake. I'm just throwing the basics
You
at
remind
you.
me of a male Angela. Is it Angela from Chicago? Is it Angela? Nick, is it Angela from Chicago? I don't know if Nick is listening. Who's that lady?
Well,
Alexis from Chicago. You remind me of Alexis from Chicago. Maybe even worse.
I've never heard
You might
of
be
this,
worse than Alexis
Alexis.
from Chicago. Actually, Alexis
But-
from Chicago is like logical and calm and manly compared to you. Man, you have this funny energy.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to say.
Don't be
Hake. I'm
sorry,
just
be
trying
careful.
to bring you the info.
What
I
a
believe
mess.
is the truth. And what you're doing is right, and you're telling people to go into that meditative state that they're going to reach spirit, and that's
Hey,
gonna
hey,
mean
stay
so
on regular
much.
phone. Okay.
What's that, Hake?
I don't know. I'm hearing phone noises like you're fiddling
Sorry,
with the
man.
phone.
I'm in my car, but basically, that's gonna bring people into a mass awakening in the next 20 or 30 years. This continued reaching out for God that is reaching back out for us, and once we tap into spirit
Has
like
there
that
ever-
and
has
have
there-
a higher correlation, your
No.
DNA
My head is full.
it's gonna extend
hey,
your
hey.
life. People are gonna live longer.
Stop it. And I'll say it right to the camera. Stop it. Has there ever been a mass awakening?
No.
Why are you trying to predict that there's going to be a mass awakening?
Well, I believe that humans used to be
No,
completely.
Hold on. Why are you trying to predict a mass awakening?
I'm not trying to predict it. It's been predicted. I'm just relaying the info.
Don't be relaying info that you've been hearing.
It's all coming, Hake. It's all true. It's been confirmed.
I gotta go, man.
To me, multiple.
What were you about to
scientifically,
No.
historically.
Hold on. What were you saying about you believe human beings were once what? I cut you off. I interrupted you.
Well, I believe human beings were once very more highly evolved than they are now. Currently, that we live in this very dense illusion where we have to. We have to be able to be sick. We have to get things like cancer in order to carry out our spiritual path, our spiritual journey on this planet. And I'm telling you, it goes way deeper than that. Reincarnation, all these things are not in the Bible. These are other problems I have things are taken out of the Bible. Jesus had a woman disciple. This has been taken out of the Bible. There's been multiple disciples. Sometimes a disciple would be killed, so they'd have to replace them because there had to be 12. There had to be that number.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness?
I probably had ADHD or something. I don't know. I never got diagnosed, but I probably got it. I don't know.
Did you grow up with both parents?
Yeah, yep, I did.
But your mom's the dominating one?
No, Hake. My dad was.
Really?
You asked me this last time.
But he doesn't agree with you about this stuff, does he?
He's a Bible thumper, and he believes that it's all the Word of God, nothing but the truth. He believes in the rapture is
So
coming
he does not agree with you
soon.
about this stuff?
He thinks I'm absolutely off my rocker, nuts. Yes.
Right.
And he's not alone in that.
That's at the chat, and I think I don't know about absolutely off your rocker.
I mean, isn't that hard to believe that there would be things in the history books that, like, let's say things that aren't in the history books? But you're making
assumptions that you don't even know what the truth is about what was taken out of the Bible or not. You're just assuming.
But I do.
You don't
but
know.
But I don't have time to
How
get
do you
into
know?
it.
You weren't there.
I believe that the people that I have researched, I could give you like 3 or 4 sources off the line that have completely gone into all this stuff as far as Bible history, as far as esoteric.
That's irrelevant.
Knowledge about our future, even, and it's 100% verifiable. It's all on YouTube, for instance.
Nice.
And it's all free, but it's all coming to us now because after 2012, things really changed. 2012 was the big change where all of our time to work out our darkness was over.
Was that the Aztec calendar thing?
Well, the Mayans prediction, and they're not the only ones. The Hopis predicted it.
They didn't predict it. They didn't predict anything. It's just that their calendar, they stopped counting after 2012.
It wasn't just that, though. They actually predicted that there was going to be a shift in the planetary energy around that time, and it was going to mean amazing things, and that's exactly what's happened. And they'll say,
Obama got reelected
science right now. You can find about how we are in a new energy and space.
Obama got reelected in 2012.
Obama is evil, man.
And then, what's her name? Paula Deen.
Paula Deen.
Hold on, man. Paula Deen got ousted from. She got canceled, right, by the liberals and the global homo and commie capitalists in 2013. There is no awakening.
Man, this might be a semantical argument, but Obama's a gray alien, right?
Are you the same one who screamed? Are you the same one who screamed?
No, I wish I could be, but I was just quoting him.
Oh, okay.
But I do believe that about Obama. Not really directly that, but something along those lines. I definitely believe Obama's the most connected to the dark power, if you could call it that, to be as vague as I possibly could. He's the one that's pretty much working for him all day behind the scenes. And pretty much anybody on the left, in my opinion, is supporting evil. Like you and Jesse said, it's completely true, but it's real deep. It's real. It's deeper than that. They really are, whether the people know it or not. People like George Soros, like you said earlier, he might be a useful idiot. I do not believe that. I believe these are the people that are very connected to the dark, the dark path, the service to self path is very dark, and these people are working behind the scenes to bring us down, to bring everything down, to take us away from the service to others path, the good path of God.
I wonder what about my show attracts the nuttiest people. It's terrible.
I love you, Hake.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Clay. Take care.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Super chats from Rumble and Odyssey and elsewhere. Asmodor explains the circadian rhythm is the process that regulates when you sleep and when you are awake. The circadian rhythm. And he says, okay, so he was actually correct. This nutty guy, Clay from Indiana, was actually correct that when you're doing the silent prayer, it's probably helpful with that too. But it's more than just physical. At least prayer is supposed to be. But yeah, if you're using it just for your circadian rhythm, that's not that good. But thank you, Asmodor, for explaining it in English. Asmodor, a great communicator. Unlike some people would call Hake. Inward Thoughts over on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Lord Bibby. Gay. I disavow. But thank you, Inward Thoughts. I read it. You happy? What a mess. He's fighting with the people. So immature. Carver bought a coffee over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Hake, what's the deal with food deserts in the inner city? Food deserts. It sounds like a liberal buzzword until we heard Keith from Illinois bring it up. Anyone who has lived out in the country knows what it's like to have to drive an hour to the nearest gas station, but we never hear of rural or farmer or not urban folk complain about it. Yeah, I know. You guys have to drive so far just to get to a grocery store. What? Thank you, Carver. Yeah, these people, they don't mind driving to the club, but they won't drive to the grocery store. I know the feeling. I've been too lazy to go to the grocery store. I just go to McDonald's, Jack in the Box, 7-Eleven, the Shell Station, shopping mart right here, and places like that. But you can go to the grocery store. But anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Being enlightened till I rise on Rumble. Hake! What's all this about divination? Sounds like the devil to me. Get behind me, Satan! SMH shaking his head, or her head. I wish that guy well, but man, he needs to get out of that woo-woo magic thinking and be still. Yeah, he's not entirely wrong about some of this stuff, but some of this stuff, I think he is entirely wrong about it. But he has a funny energy. He's high on caffeine, and he's high on the knowledge that he's divined from YouTube, for example. 4 sources. Being enlightened till I rise with another Rumble rant. Rumble.com/The Hake Report. Yeah, I had to start an entire new stream. Rumble malfunctioned. I don't know if it's Rumble's end or Restream's end or our end, but all the other streams seemed okay. He gave another one, being enlightened till I rise. Obama and his ilk aren't into dark forces, rather they're being used just like everyone else, including us, you and me, through their anger and pride-believing thoughts. The devil is very crafty. I agree with that, being enlightened till I rise. It's not just the liberals. It isn't. It is good versus evil, and evil works in each of us. So we got to watch ourselves. Nice. Ooh, that was a long rant. I got to get to William in California, who's been on hold forever. Let's see. William in California, thanks for holding, man. How you doing?
Oh, it's okay. How was your weekend?
It was great. I went to the beach, but I did not record a beach stream.
I went to the beach, too.
Yeah. It's great.
Cool.
I got sunburn on my feet. Oh. That's
what
that's
beach you
white.
go to?
I went to Santa Monica. Yeah, Santa Monica. It's the
Yeah.
best one.
I went to Baker's.
Oh, right on. You know, I say
Hey.
Santa Monica is the best, but Huntington Beach is better. It's just not as close.
Right.
Yeah, anyway.
Right. Appreciate Keith in Illinois' call. That is a big concern. The stores in inner city are leaving.
Yeah. And they're leaving because of the crime and the mess. Like, the clientele are not the most pleasant.
But I'd like to give a shout out to Blazing Hogs and Red Dirt Farm and Lord Grimm, them horsemen, and Matt Living the Dream, and
nice.
Hey, Lord Baby 52. There's a lot of that going on around the inner city. They're taking stores out of the neighborhoods. That people don't have cars and transportation, lower income.
Yeah. True.
Making it. It is because of the crime, and it's making it inconvenient for people because they do have good people
right
in the inner city.
Yeah, there's decent people who are just They
need
don't.
their medication.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Walgreens being closed in San Francisco out there.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's the young whippersnappers who don't feel the effects of it primarily, who are taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, because they don't need medication. They're not at that age.
Right. So selfish.
Thinking about that. And then the team takeover in Chicago. And
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. Also, we waiting on some news. I'm trying to see what's going to happen down here in Alabama. There was a shooting at a Sweet 16 party.
Right.
17 people were hurt. And I think there was some loss of life. By the way, there's a news flash that there is no law saying that you can't talk about black people.
Nice. Yeah, true. But it's de facto discrimination against the whites for speaking the truth. But irregardless, we should still tell the truth, which is not a word.
Well,
but.
just like he's addressing.
Right.
You don't usually get people to address. You get them to say, well, what about the whites? Well,
yeah,
we're not talking about the whites right now.
Yeah.
Can you answer the question? That's the challenge. Can you address it without saying what about the whites?
Right.
But on a serious note, this update on this thing down in Alabama is the ongoing problem in the black community. Is not the guns from the responsible gun owners. It's actually the guns that are stolen that are on the street. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That are in the hands of youth.
Yeah, these people are, I don't know, like I always reference what John Adams said, you can't have this freedom and this liberty in this great country without being a moral people, God, and real religion.
Well, it's a republic, not a democracy.
Yeah.
And it's about taking responsibility for your household, your community, your family, or whatever. You know, there's nothing wrong with telling the truth about something like that.
Yeah.
But I heard you say something that was very interesting. I haven't heard that term in a long time. Is a Danish sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that for the first time from. That? I don't know much about it, but Patrick from Denmark called my show and said that my sense of humor may be because I'm Danish.
Yeah, they have a good sense of humor. I don't know if you can call it dry.
Yeah, people in the chat were asking dry.
Have a cozy atmosphere. I had a friend that was Danish.
Uh-huh.
They like that cozy atmosphere. They do that.
Nice.
You know, but I heard you say that. But the guy with the afro, he reminds me of something. He reminds me of that actor Willie Tyler. Remember him?
No, I don't. I'm very uncultured.
If he's dead or not. Willie Tyler. Look him up real quick. Pull up images. That dummy that he had. That's what Justin Pearson reminds me of. That dummy with Mr. Willie Tyler.
He was a ventriloquist, huh?
Yeah. Look at the images and put that up on the screen.
Well, I don't know if Hassan's capable of doing that.
Can you put that on the
right
screen? Can you show me?
I don't want to freeze our. I don't want to freeze our Wirecast or whatever.
He reminds me of that dummy.
That's interesting.
He reminds me of that.
You're referring to Justin Pearson, the goofy afro guy from Tennessee, who was booted and then brought back by Memphis.
Bragg's career is going to be over with for the stuff that he's doing.
You think so?
Yep.
You know whose career was not over was sometimes these people are rewarded in worldly ways by the world. You know that woman who went after the woman who went after Clarence Thomas.
Man, come on.
She's a female professor.
Anita.
Anita Hill or something like that.
Yeah.
She's a female professor, and they're still to this day trying to go after.
That was such a weak.
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, to this day.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was weak.
Yeah.
That was weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie Tyler. That's who Pearson reminds me of. Back to him. That's who he reminds me of.
No offense to Willie Tyler or his dummy.
No, he had a tremendous act. That he was in business for a long time. I don't even know if he's still alive.
I don't either. He
had a long career, James.
Yeah. I think he's alive to this day, according to
Is he?
the search.
To this day.
Nice work, Hassan. Willie Tyler, American ventriloquist. That means you can throw your voice. I can say something and it sounds like it's coming from Hassan. Comedian and actor, credited as Willie Tyler and Lester, or Willie Tyler and Lester.
That's him. That's him.
There he is. There's the. So I don't know. I think this guy's better looking. I think the dummy, the
Lester's
puppet,
better looking
than the goofy. I don't know. The goofy afro guy. He has a look to him, but the afro just looks ridiculous.
He's really hilarious.
Yeah.
It is extremely hilarious to look at him.
You're talking about the phony politician guy?
Yeah. It's
28 years old or so.
Yeah, there he is.
Ridiculous. And he is a puppet. He's a puppet for evil. Terrible. I appreciate the tip, William from California. Yeah, nice to hear from you, man.
You too, man.
All right, take care. Okay. Before I get back to calls, let me tell you about this frazzled woman. I have some pictures of this gal. I censored them. Page 6 reports. Poor Kathy Griffin. Pray for Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin. She's that redhead. Is she Christian or is she unchristian? I don't think she's very Christian, but I think she might be a normal white. Maybe she's Irish or something like that. But anyway, she was diagnosed with an extreme case of complex PTSD. I censored her middle finger because she flipped up her middle finger. Not very ladylike there, lady. She's this skinny 62-year-old, red-haired, hair turned light-colored. Maybe it was an artificial red. Comedian. That's how you say comedian in woman. Female comedian. And Dylon, who's not I guess he's a Christian, but anyway, who's part not normal white, says that she used to be funny. And I could believe it, maybe. 62-year-old Kathy Griffin said this. She said it. It's not like gossip about her. She put it out there. She explained with a wink. That's where you close one eye, kids, if you don't know, that her issues began about 5.5 years ago. Around the same time, she posed for a photo holding a replica of our greatest president, Donald J. Trump's severed head. Remember that picture? Don't show it. It was gross. She looked like ISIS. You know how ISIS would chop off people's heads or cut them off? Cut off people's heads, as Trump said with his gesture. And she held it all weird looking, all artsy and weird looking. My Life on the D-List star, I don't know what that is. I guess that's a show or something, immediately faced backlash both in her personal life and in her career over the artistic decision. So she caught some major backlash over that. She caught hate. She put out hate and she caught hate. That's not good. You shouldn't treat hate with hate. She did lose her mind over Trump. Very angry, says BB. Yeah. Is she mildly attractive? I don't know. There she is, looking all small and wrapped up in a blanket. Oh, in a hospital setting. Like a hospital hallway setting sort of a place. Don't go there. CNN, Commie Nonsense Network themselves fired Griffin from co-hosting their New Year's Eve special. Terrible. Commie Nonsense Network? They're worse than she is, right? Or no? She was also placed on a no-fly list as the Secret Service investigated her. There she is. I censored the little middle finger there. Dainty little middle finger. She also lost many stand-up comedy gigs. Yeah, it was very popular to hate Trump, but she hated him with too explicit, too violent of imagery for our tender hearts, both good and evil. The evil people's hearts, they couldn't take that imagery of her. Some people loved her, or the hate-filled people wannabe lover. She's also a fashion police alum, whatever that is. She said her stage 1 lung cancer diagnosis in 2021 didn't help, so she's been through a lot. Poor lady. So I describe her as a frazzled woman. Don't worry your pretty little head about politics, Kathy Griffin. Just be funny. She was almost mildly attractive when she was 20 years old, maybe, speculates Doom Jesus. She traumatized Barron Trump, says it's the real Mr. Mad. You think so? Nah. He's untraumatizable. He's a solid guy, Barron Trump. He's taller than our greatest president. No, I don't know. Aw, poor lady. Don't hate her. Don't hate Kathy Griffin. But isn't that interesting? Like, she got a backlash, not of love, but of evil. She went in for an MRI on Easter Sunday, according to this reporting. Extreme case of complex PTSD. PTSD is what veterans go through, I will have you know, nowadays. And maybe even as far back as World War II, World War I, Vietnam, the 1,000-yard stare, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I put that sometimes in quotes because the mental illness fad has been coming ever since communism. It's an atheistic thing where they bring in the doctors who are nutcases themselves oftentimes, and the psychiatrists to push drugs and push on people, stuff on people, and replace fathers, men, manhood, manliness. I'm counting like I'm saying different things, but I'm saying the same thing. Preachers, pastors, Christianity, God within. Then they go to diviners, women, get in touch with their feelings, all that mess. And maybe it's because it's an opposite extreme overreaction to like the men weren't quite men. But it's even worse. The solutions are worse than the thing that they're replacing, you know? These people swoop in and cause more problems. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Look at all these mass murders. A lot of times these mass murders by these whites and Asians and maybe even blacks and others. I know the blacks committing mass murders maybe even without drugs. Maybe with drugs, not sure. But I know that a lot of these mass shootings in these gun-free zones, mass murders in the gun-free zones, I call them mass murders because shooting is a politicized word because they go after the guns. I may be on Modern Day Debate, by the way, come Wednesday about gun control or something like that versus T-jump. That's the plan, man. That's the plan, man. It's all subversive. Kind of like what this guy Clay was calling in about. Yeah, you have some knowledge within, some natural knowledge, natural knowing. Sometimes you're not even sure how you know something. And you don't even necessarily have to explain why you know something is how you know it. You just know, sort of. But then he says, oh, we should have these women tell the whole world about their stuff to go look within. What? What a mess. So, you women, you don't need to worry your pretty little heads. Let me tell you about some pocket headlines that I came across. Women anxiety pocket, something like that. This is my little folder here. Yeah, anxiety, women, and pocket headlines. You may want to cover your eyes, kids. Sunday night anxiety. According to stylist.co.uk, far-left British foreign outlet. Yeah, not all British is foreign, but this is foreign because they're foreign to real American Christian values or British Christian values. How to alleviate the Sunday scaries, according to an expert. Sophrology exercises. What's that? I don't know. I don't even really want to know. Sophrology exercises can be used to alleviate the Sunday scaries. There was somebody who had the Sunday scaries at church with Jesse Lee Peterson. He was all in his head because he had some meeting coming Monday morning, 10 a.m., which was 45 minutes ago. And he was like, he had the Sunday scaries and he might be... Well, anyway, I don't want to get into that. But you can check it out. It's Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, rebuildingtheman.com/church. He was worried he might be institutionalized. He got himself entrenched in the world, and now the world is entrenched in his life. Shout out to Alex. We wish him well. Yeah, this is from 2021 by Lauren Giel. There's nothing quite like the feeling of dread. These women who have jobs and they work, which creeps up on a Sunday evening. Or if you go to school, I don't want to go back to school. School stinks. They don't say stinks, though. Despite your best attempts to push away thoughts of the week ahead, to make the most of your time off and forget about work a little while longer. Oh, reality. We're going to be back to reality. My buddy of mine said, back to reality Monday morning. So he would always go to like the boba shop or whatever. He's Asian. We're talking about Sunday night anxiety, Sunday scaries, as it's often called, a form of anticipatory anxiety, a type of anxiety characterized by an overwhelming feeling of dread about something that is due to happen, about the week ahead. And this is directed mostly at women, by the way, I will have you know. But guys get this thing too. Imagine being a man using the term scaries. No, these are women, directed at women, women who work. You don't need to be working, ladies. Anyway, maybe you do nowadays. It can get in the way of a good night's sleep, this anxiety can, and leave people feeling exhausted for the week ahead. Shooting yourself in the foot to spite your face. Spoiler alert says sophrology is a relaxation method, sometimes referred to as hypnosis, psychotherapy, or complementary therapy, according to healthline.com/health/sophrology. Thank you, man. Not wanting the weekend to be over, experiencing disappointment about not being able to lie in the next day. Lie in. I guess that's a British term. Sleep in the next day is very much expected. Happens to all of us, says Dominique Antiglio. Probably an Italian. She's a sophrologist at B-Sophro Clinics, author of The Life-Changing Power of Sophrology. Oh, this is making me anxious hearing about it. Somebody else, she goes on to say, this person, it can become a chronic enough that they spend the whole day carrying the anxiety around. Negative impact on their stress levels. Of course, if your Sunday night anxiety is being triggered by a toxic workplace environment, woman talk, toxic workplace environment that is placing significant pressure on your mental health, it might be time to consider a change in job or career. However, if this isn't the case, and then they push this stuff. What does this one say? They often report counting down to Saturday from the moment they walk into work on Monday. 5 days left. You're the one who wanted to work, ladies. Sunday night anxiety. 88% of people experience it regularly, according to this. And it has a picture of another woman looking all in her head. Terrible, huh? And there's more anxiety pocket stories. More than a feeling. 12 stories about this science of anxiety. A deep dive into how and why we experience anxiety. Science-backed ways to ease the burden. They're always looking to science now. They're looking to science. How your heart influences what you perceive and fear. Feeling anxious? So is everyone else. This guide will help you. By a woman. Serotonin study explains why some people are more prone to anxiety. These apps make a game out of relieving anxiety. They may be onto something, says some person. These are article headlines I'm reading that they've gathered. Pocket has gathered for the ladies. Can psychedelics save the world? What anxiety does to your brain and what you can do about it. This vaccine could prevent stress, anxiety, and depression, according to Vice. Anatomy 101, the brain science behind meditation, the neuroscience behind why we feel stress and what to do about it. Science. The chronic anxiety, is it a learning disorder? You're doom scrolling again. Here's how to snap out of it. Worried well. What a mess, huh? Oh, I was showing all the different headlines there. You can just kind of just plow through those last few there. Look at all that mess. Oh, and one or two last ones from L.com. There's nothing effortless about being a woman, and I'm done pretending otherwise. What in the world? These ladies. It reminded me of what JLP said and what the super chat said on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. It's hard not being a man. I think he said that in church or something like that. But these ladies say there's nothing effortless about being a woman, and I'm done pretending otherwise. A 2020 story by Amy Choi. Sounds Asian. The trick is to never, ever take a day off. Never stop, says Nugget Man. Oh, man. JLP closed the door. Now it's getting hot in here. Too much hot air. CNN, by the way, says, looking at awe-inspiring art could lead to a happier, healthier life. The feeling you get when you listen to stirring music, like such as Petra, I Need to Hear From You, or look at a striking painting, could improve your physical, mental, and social well-being. Terrible. Looking on the outside rather than dealing with it, getting tough. Anyway, so that's enough hot air. I got to get to CJ in Texas. Been on hold forever. On the line. CJ, thanks for calling and holding, man. How you doing? Are you there? Come off of mute.
Yeah. Hello?
Hey, there you are.
Yep. Sorry, it always takes me a little bit of time to get off of speakerphone.
That's all right. As long as you're not on caffeine, like my other caller. That's a joke. You can laugh now. Please laugh. Go ahead.
I just didn't get the joke. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to talk to you about like the way I present myself and stuff.
Okay. Nice. I like that topic.
Yep. First of all,
your evil is real.
Sorry for being such a
What's that? What?
Yeah.
Say again?
Sorry for being such a
Oh, apology accepted.
Okay. Also, so like, why sometimes like you said you got frustrated with me because you're like, I feel so frustrated because when I talk to you, like sometimes I don't know like what you're doing and stuff.
Whether you're being sarcastic or not. Like, I thought that you were sincerely wanting the women to be quiet, but you don't want the women to be quiet.
Hake, don't get frustrated.
Thank you, man. Good, very good advice.
Everything's gonna be okay, Hake. Like, just take a deep breath. Don't worry.
You're giving me the Monday.
I'm a huge internet troll.
You are alleviating my Monday scaries.
I'm just trolled. Hey, don't get trolled, bro. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Don't get trolled.
Don't tell me what not to do.
I'm going to tell you what to do. No, but I do want to explain to you.
Your
like,
evil is real. Are you also inward thoughts?
My first.
You don't have
name
to
with
dox
your
yourself.
show-
You don't have to answer that if you don't like.
I'm going to dox myself right now.
Go ahead.
The first name I had with you was sit down, shut up, and listen.
Oh, wow. I like you now.
Do you remember that from like 4 years ago?
I remember that.
Yeah, and he also had another color named Lewis.
Okay.
Do you remember him?
I don't remember a Lewis.
Well, you had a guy named Lewis, and he was out a bit, and then I turned him on to questioning Paul, and then he bounced out.
Okay.
And then, do you remember?
Oh, are you talking about that guy who was something 420 or?
No, his name was Lewis, I think.
In the chat? I know his real name was Lewis. But anyway.
No, his chat name was Lewis.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe it was some stupid stoner shit. I don't know.
Keep it clean,
sorry.
remember.
I'm going to keep it clean. Sorry. And do you remember the Samuel the Swede?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember when he stopped calling into your show?
I remember that he did. I don't remember when exactly it happened, but yeah, roughly.
It happened exactly when the last call he ever had on his show was me calling in and talking about how Paul was the Antichrist, and I laid it all out for him, and then he canceled his channel and got off the internet doing everything.
Do you think that's
ever again after that day?
Do you think that's a coincidence?
No, it's a major coincidence, man. Like,
so you think that it's connected to?
I teach people about real Christianity. Anyway,
so is Lewis Form Dog something 420?
It's not even important, man. Okay. What I really want to tell you is like why I say things contrary to what I believe is because there is, but like. Okay, so the first thoughts that I had about how women weren't being given commandments was about like 5 or 6 days ago.
That was the first time you.
Show
that's the first time
to
you
talk
had
to you
that
about
thought?
it. Hello?
That's the first time you had that thought?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what, man? We got to end. I'm at the end of the show. Call me tomorrow and I'll get to you earlier.
So let me just throw this on to you.
Wrap it up in 30 seconds.
When you want to disprove what you're doing, say the opposite of what you're trying to prove and get people to say to try to disprove it. But if you really want to like get proofs and arguments against what you're doing, you give the opposite of what you're doing towards people. You try to prove that the opposite of what you believe is true, and if they can prove it, then you're wrong. Anyway.
Oh, thanks, man.
Peace out. Like the reason why you say the opposite argument of what you're trying to believe in is so that somebody can prove that what you think is wrong. And so if you present it as the opposite, you will get that back.
Cool, man. I gotta go. I didn't quite comprehend it. We'll have to take more time another time. Take care, CJ.
Always try to prove the opposite of what you believe.
Adios, man.
Adios.
All right. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. What a mess. A couple super chats from Inward Thoughts. Hake prefers a little sausage on his cheese pizza. I disavow. Why are all your mods more than Jalen 8? He asks. Thanks, man. Appreciate the super chats, guys. Thanks for the support. This is from Adriana, the rapper. Remember her? Listen to Hake News. Adios, America.
Don't take the bait. You know they are fake. Just stop and wait. You could see the hate. There's no debate. Listen to Hake News.